Hey, Mom, listen, I'm finally going to be able to go to that college. And I was able to pass all my exams and interviews for the college of my dreams. So starting this fall, I'll be able to finally step into that college as a student. That's fantastic to hear. Did you really end up passing all your exams and interviews? I'm so happy to hear all of this from you finally, June. Congratulations. Not only are you going to be able to attend that school now, but you'll even have the chance to become a Harvard alumni. That's so amazing. You really did give it your all there, and this is the reward you're getting for it. Well, I did end up taking after Dad and became a really intelligent woman. I could really say that passing those exams to get into Harvard was a piece of cake for someone with my genes. You have that right. Ever since you began to speak, you've been just like your dad, and you were so smart. Well, now that I've heard the good news from you, we're going to have to prepare a celebration. What do you want to eat for dinner tonight? I'll give it my all to make you whatever kind of dinner you ask for. You don't have to worry about tonight. As a celebration for my passing my final year, Dad is taking me out to eat. Just the two of you? Am I not allowed to come and celebrate with the two of you? You know that you're not allowed to. I mean, all you are is a high school graduate. What? Dad ended up continuing his education doing postgraduate work and even now is working in the labs at the school. And I turned out just like him, having passed the entrance exams into Harvard. Do you really think there's room for a high school graduate between he and I? I'm sorry, but I won't be happy having someone who's never been to college celebrating my graduation. June, what are you talking about right now? I get that you feel on top of the world right now after having passed all your interviews at Harvard, but you still haven't become a student there, right? I understand that you've passed the exams and all that, but you still have to wait until you've graduated high school yourself. So at the moment, you're not even considered a high school graduate, right? Talking like you know anything is really getting on my nerves, especially since you've never gone through any sort of education after high school. You are the number one idiot in this family, so you have no right to be talking to me like you're a distinguished person. Did you just call me an idiot? Hold your horses there, June. Did you really just say that to your own mother? Who do you think it was that allowed you to take those exams for Harvard, as well as allowed you to go study after school in those cram classes? And who has it been that's been here supporting you this whole time through all of it? We all know it's been Dad who's been there supporting me and helping me get through all my classes and exams. He's the one that works in the research department within that university, so it has to be him. He's from a very amazing college himself, as well as has the brains of a scientist, so I know he's been the one. You don't feel that I could have been the one that helped you through all of that? I'm the one that's been working a lot through my career to support both you and your father, June. And I've been the one paying for all the groceries in this house, along with all the bills, totaling around $2,000 a month. Haven't you realized that it's been me paying for all of that? Oh, what are you trying to say then? I'm surprised Dad ever married you when all you are is a high school graduate with little to show for it. I think he was very generous for allowing you to become a part of his family, and maybe that's why you're paying $2,000 a month. What? In other words, you working your butt off to pay the bills does not matter to me because you're just paying Dad back for what he's had to sacrifice by marrying you. And you are a high school graduate, so whatever work you do is probably way too simple and requires no thinking. So compared to what you do for this family, Dad's job is way more difficult and amazing. He's a researcher for a university, so the money he makes must be at least 10 times what you bring in. Excuse me? Listen, June. Have you really thought of me, your mother, like that this whole time? It's not that I've always been thinking that. Rather, it's all just facts. You are the number one idiot in the house and have little to show for after you got out of high school. So I have something to say to a mother like you. And what is it that you'd like to say? I would like for you to get the hell out of this house. I'm about to become a Harvard student in the next few months, and having a high school graduate like you in this house is just embarrassing. So while Dad and I are out celebrating me graduating high school and getting into Harvard, you can stay home packing your things and getting out of here. Huh? So I'm the embarrassing one. And what do you mean, get out of the house? What are you talking about, June? I spoke with Dad about this already, but he says when I start to go to Harvard, things are going to get a bit tougher for me. I'm going to have to start learning a lot of new things, and I'll need the right environment to study in full time. But if there's a huge idiot in the house with me, that environment, which I'm supposed to study in, is going to fall apart. So that's why I'd like for you to get out of this house. This is not the kind of thing I'd like to be hearing from you right now, June. What kind of reasoning is that for you wanting your mother to leave her house? I'm sorry, Mom, but Dad agrees with me 100%. He said in order to help me graduate from Harvard, he's willing to divorce you. What did you just say? Us intelligent folk only do our best when surrounded by others that are just as intelligent as us. But if there's someone of mass stupidity amongst us, then the intelligence in the whole family begins to break down. And Dad does not want me turning into an idiot like you. What? Has your father really said things like that about me? Has he really gone and called me an idiot like that? He has. That's why you need to hurry up and get out of this house. There's no need for a mother in this house that is less intelligent than her own daughter. Having a parent that's ever only graduated from high school is super embarrassing. Are you really okay with that? I have Dad here to support me, so I'm totally okay with you going. Even without my stupid mother here in this house, I still have an admirable father that'll make sure to meet all my needs. We won't even ask you to pay for my college or for me to be fed or dressed in this house, so get lost already. Well then, I'll take you up on that wish of yours and leave this house. I'll fill out the divorce papers before I leave, so all Dad has to do is sign them.
Thank you so much for filling out and leaving the divorce paperwork here for me yesterday. Just a second ago, I handed them all into the city office.
Well, that's a wrap then. From now on, you and I are divorced.
That's right, and we have no more use for you. I'll make sure to raise June properly from now on, so you won't have to worry about what's happening with her.
But will you be able to manage that? Up until now, you forced me to do everything around that house, as well as raise her while you've stayed out. And without me, there would be nobody there to pay for the house and your guys' food, so how do you plan to carry on now?
Huh?
Well, I'm telling the truth, right? I do think it's pretty great that you're working in that lab at the university in town doing research. But even if you're working there with a master's degree in your field, you aren't making nearly that much. And when it comes to what you are making, you're putting most of that back into your research, right? That's the whole reason why you've had me be the one to use my earnings up to support the household. If it wasn't for all the extra work I've put in, I'd never have any savings to work with right now.
Well, don't worry about that because there's been a major change for me as well. I have just been contacted by a company overseas that is willing to hire me to go work for them.
What? You got an offer from an overseas company to go out and work for them? That right there is an absolutely amazing thing for you, right?
With where I'll be going, it's expected that I'll be making around $500,000 a year doing my research for them. And depending on the outcome of my research, I can expect to be getting close to $1 million in bonuses.
You'll be able to make that kind of money?
That's what you can expect from an overseas company willing to hire an American to go work for them. Unlike the universities and companies here, they are willing to pay a pretty penny for an American researcher with my background. I'll be able to continue the work I love while making massive amounts of money per year.
I see. You asked for a divorce because you've been offered such a great job promising lots of money. I was only ever useful to you because I was able to pay for whatever you couldn't afford, which was mostly everything.
Right now, I'm considered a top researcher in my field who is about to go global. And I should not have to continue to be married to a high school graduate like you any longer. You would only bring shame to my image. When I'm overseas, I'm going to be invited to all sorts of dinners with other elite people. And I can't be bringing a woman like you along with me.
So even you like to call me an embarrassment, huh? Not even a single thanks has come out of your mouth after all I've given for you and June. Instead, constantly looking down on me for never graduating from any higher level of education.
Man, I cannot believe I came out on top being offered to work for such an elite company. And not just by any elite company, but a company called Greenberg that specializes in all kinds of technology.
Greenberg?
Oh, Even a high school graduate like you knows the name of this company. Thanks to the research I'll be able to do for their company, the stock prices are bound to go up for the company. I'd recommend buying all you can of this company's stock so that you will also have some money in the future.
Hold on a second. Isn't this all a bit strange to you? I've read about how that company is no longer planning to work with researchers from your department anymore.
Huh? They don't?
As your wife, I've always kept up on the news regarding your job and companies relating to it. And I think I read about this on one of the foreign news web pages. From what I read regarding Greenberg, they're starting to slow down any research that has to do with what you specialize in.
No way a high school graduate that's ever been to college could actually understand foreign news well enough to get that from it. I think you have a big misunderstanding is all. Why would a company like Greenberg be asking me to work for them if they don't plan to do any research in my field of expertise?
I wouldn't be so sure about that, Jeremy. These days, you can use translating apps to translate all sorts of web pages so that you can fully understand them. I think before you take their offer, you should look into their company a bit more. And maybe take one more look at the offer they sent you as well.
Shut up already. I'm not going to listen to the woman I just divorced talk about my work like she knows a dang thing about it. I'm sure you're just trying to get me to reject the offer now because I'll be making a whole lot of money with it. Well, no matter how hard you try, I'm not going to turn that company down.
Really? I'm not saying all of this because you have a chance to make a lot of money.
Well, you can stop with all this mundane crap that you keep spewing at me now, right? I'm going to accept this generous offer and then go work for a company that's willing to pay me properly for my work. I would no longer need your help anymore either, Sally.
I even tried to warn you about all of this, but I don't know how else to help you now. You run along and don't worry about your ex-wife anymore and go do whatever pleases you. But if you come to regret your decision later on, don't come crawling back to me crying.
You think I'll come crawling back to you? You are nothing more than a brainless woman who offers no further use to my family. You're the one that better stay away from us when you come to regret never, ever getting a proper education.
Now that I think about it, I'd like you to start sending me money again and paying for me to go to Harvard. By the end of this week, I'd like you to put around $10,000 into Dad's bank account for me. Shouldn't that dad of yours, that you brag about so much, be able to pay for you to stay in school? He should be able to, but so far, he's still not been paid by the company he's working for at the moment. Seems he accidentally signed that contract, not realizing that he'd only get paid at the end of each year working in that company. He'll be making $500,000 by the end of the year, but for right now, he doesn't have the money to pay for me. What? He only gets paid once a year? Apparently, the company he works for now doesn't pay the same way companies in the US do. But unfortunately, that's not a good enough reason for Harvard, and they want me to pay for schooling by the end of this month. So for the time being, I'll have you pay for me to go to school. We'll make sure to pay you back later on after Dad gets his money. I can't believe this. I thought even Jeremy would have been able to see past that offer he was given. I suppose that he hasn't told you the truth yet about his work then? Huh? The truth? Well, it's not just him though, but you as well, June. You and your dad both fell for that crap even though you both claimed to be so intelligent. When really the two of you are straight up clowns. Huh? Who the hell are you calling a clown? And what are you talking about with Dad not seeing past that offer? I'm talking about how your dad, that you brag so much about, is a massive idiot. Right now, he's not working for a company overseas. And that's why he'll not be getting an income of $500,000. Which means you both can expect nothing by the end of the year. Huh? Really, he's been played as a fool with that offer. And this whole thing about him getting any sort of money at the end of the year is a lie he's made up to fool you too. And another thing, no matter what kind of situation you end up in down the road, I'm not planning on paying for you to go to school. Now go off and talk with your dad about his current situation and make sure to pay your school by whatever deadline they've given you. Wait a moment. What do you mean Dad isn't working for a company overseas right now? There's no way he'd turn down an offer like that promising huge amounts of money. To tell you the truth, there never was an offer like that, June. Just as I had thought, your dad has been played a fool by some kind of random email. Huh? What do you mean random email? I'm sure that your dad did happen to get an email from an overseas company with some kind of offer in it. But I think the company that sent him that offer made a mistake and sent it to the wrong person who ended up being your dad. They had another researcher in mind, but ended up sending the offer to your dad by mistake. What? I know about all of this because I'd been the wife of your dad for so many years. I kept my eyes and ears open in the communities he works in, and that's why I know more than you guys would think about him. If you want evidence as to why that offer wasn't for him, your dad is still in the US, right? He should have been relocated to France had he accepted the offer and been hired. Now that you mention it, Dad is still in the US. But he's always telling me that he's busy getting ready to leave to go to the new company. And there was a day he came home and was packing a lot of his things, so... Wait, could this mean that right now Dad doesn't have a job? Well, you'll have to ask your dad about that if you want an answer. Now, since you know more about the truth, I'll be going. Good luck getting the money you need to stay in school.
You've really done it now, telling June the truth about me. Why have you done this to me?
You're the one to blame for continuing to live a lie like that in front of her. Anyway, what are you going to do about paying for June to stay in school? I hear that she needs $10,000 for this month, but I doubt you have that kind of money just laying around, right? I received pretty much everything that was in our savings in the divorce, so there's got to be nothing in there.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have anything in savings at the moment. And that's why things regarding her schooling and living costs are getting pretty tight, especially since I was fired from my job.
You were fired from your lab?
When I got that email with the offer regarding the job overseas, I jumped on it and turned in my letter of resignation. But right after doing that, I realized that the offer wasn't meant for me. I tried to get the university to throw that resignation letter away, but it was too late for me and they said no. I learned that the university had been planning to get rid of me for a while now, and that was the perfect chance for them.
Oh my, that's a bummer for you then. So then you really are unemployed right now.
Even if I don't have a job right now, I'm a researcher. I'm sure that someday soon, the research that I do will change this world in some way for the better. But it's screwed up that that university and this world don't see how important my work is yet.
That's right. You've sacrificed more than anyone for your research and everything it relates to. And so I'll be waiting for the day that all you've sacrificed is put to good use and changes this world. But you ended up throwing out the one person that funded your research in any way, and I wonder if anyone else will be willing to listen to what you have to say.
Huh?
Your research is important, but you also have to find someone willing to actually fund it for you. But for some reason, you've only ever cared about your research and not about those who put their money into it for you. Always talking about those that don't support you as idiots. And that those that do not understand the importance of your work as inferior. If you keep thinking about those that fund you or consider funding you like that, then you're going to get nowhere with your research.
Huh? How does someone like you know anything about the type of work I do?
I know everything about the work you do, Jeremy. I'm the one that translated a lot of your papers for those overseas to understand, as well as have held relations with different institutions that have been wanting to fund you.
Ugh.
As you sat there doing your research all day and night, you made me handle all the public relations and things regarding business. I even did all of that for you while you continued to call me an idiot for never going any further past high school. Well, you've done it now, Jeremy.
Well, that's...
Well, don't worry, because I'm thankful for what you did. Because of all that work you forced me into, I was able to work from home all the time. I was able to start working for other researchers as well, doing their translations and things like that, and have made off with this work rather well. Right now, I'm making somewhere around $80,000 a year with this kind of work, and I don't even have to leave the house.
What? You're making that much a year from home?
There are a lot of researchers and companies asking for my skills, so I don't have to worry about money. And when I was still married to you, most of what I earned went to supporting you and June. But now, without you both in my life, I'm able to save up lots of money.
What?
I was a bit worried about my life after a divorce with you. But with a yearly income of around $80,000, I'm able to make ends meet.
You're lying, right? All I am is unemployed now. The man who graduated with a master's and is a researcher is currently without any work now. Why should a high school graduate like you be able to make that much?
That's because I worked my hardest to help support your research and the family. I literally sacrificed years of my life in working my job, doing all the chores and raising June just so that you could focus on your research. I even studied financing in my free time to learn how to manage the money better. And because of that, I'm able to do what I do now with a steady income and no worries.
Hey, Sally, what do you think about the two of us getting back together again? Come back here and start funding my research again.
Who the hell would want to fund your research, you dunce? If you're as intelligent as you always bragged about, then you can make up a way to bring in money and fund yourself. I never knew that you brought in that much money every year, Mom. Please, Mom, can you please start paying for me to stay in school for Dad? I'm sorry, but someone who never went anywhere after high school doesn't know how to send money to your dad for him to pay for your schooling. And you shouldn't have to ask for my money anyways, considering I'm so stupid. Please don't say things like that now, just help me. If I don't pay for my semesters soon, I'm not going to be able to stay in school and will have to drop out. And then all that work I put into passing those exams will have been for nothing. I won't even be able to get into college anymore, Mom. Well, that just means you'll turn out like me as a high school graduate. Welcome to the life of us stupid people that never chose to move on to a higher education, June. I want to apologize for everything I ever said to you before, Mom. I'm so sorry for treating you like an idiot for so long. It's been all because of the money you brought into the family that Dad and I were able to study what we wanted and go where we pleased, so thank you. I want to keep saying sorry for what I've said, so please forgive me in return. Why should I forgive you? Do you realize just how much you hurt me after what you did to me recently? You were able to get accepted into Harvard after all, so you should be able to understand that, right? But, Mom! Stop asking me for help, and do what you can on your own. You also have your father that you brag so much about there with you. I'm sure two extremely intelligent people like you can make something happen. Now, you both have a good one. After that, I immediately changed both my phone number and email to avoid those two from ever talking to me again. And because of that, I've never had to hear from them again. As from what I've heard through the grapevine, June ended up never being able to pay for her first semester and had to drop out while bawling her eyes out. As of right now, she's been working multiple part-time jobs trying to save up to go to community college in the future. And as for my ex-husband, he ended up finding work as an office worker and spends his days working a job that has nothing to do with his master's degree. And on top of that, he often thinks of himself as better than everyone else because of his past as a researcher. But his boss does his best to put Jeremy right back into his place by yelling at him in front of his coworkers. As for those two's life back at home, they are only able to afford gas station meals as they try to save for their future. But of course, that way of life that they've chosen has nothing to do with me. In my case, I've been able to find a nice apartment where I can spend my days working at home and enjoying the money I bring home. I'm able to keep all the money I earn for myself while enjoying the work that I do, which makes me very thankful for what those two did to me not too long ago.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
What the hell are you thinking, Madison? Why did you just come out of that place with Raymond? What is going on with you, Sherry? Coming at me with all these phone calls without at least giving me a text first? Stop trying to act like what you've done is not a problem and get to explaining things. I heard from Raymond that for the next month he'd be out of the state for a business trip. But for some reason I saw you going into his house yesterday. And after a full day, you are finally coming back out of that house? And not just by yourself, but with Raymond while the two of you share laughs and smiles? What? You've been watching me in his house ever since yesterday afternoon? I knew it. You are just his stalker. I wasn't watching you in his house like that because I enjoyed it. Recently, I've noticed that Raymond has been acting pretty suspicious. And when I've been over at his place the past few weeks before he left, his room smelled like someone else's perfume. There have also been days where he wasn't responding to my texts at all. And that's why yesterday, when I had finally had enough of him ghosting me all the time, I went over to make sure he was actually on a business trip, and there you were. So, Madison, you've been the one going out with Raymond then? And so what? What are you trying to say about me, Sherry? Just because you're only finding out about this now doesn't change anything. Although you are finding out a lot sooner than we had both expected. What is up with that attitude towards me? Raymond is supposed to be my fiancé right now, right? Are you a freaking idiot? You're going out with your friend's fiancé right now. Huh? From what I've been told, he's no longer engaged to you anymore. He's planning on getting married to me now. So stop trying to play this as though you've been cheated on when there's no love between you guys anymore. Huh? He told me that he's thrown you away and will be marrying me when the time's right. So no matter how upset you get over this, it's not going to change the fact that he's mine now. Raymond has finally become my man now. Wait a second. You guys are planning to get married now? For a long time now, I've been trying to get him to fall for me, but recently he finally took the bait and came after me. For a little while, he wasn't even bothering to look at me, and hearing that he'd gotten engaged to you made me really sweat. But I was able to make one last play that ended perfectly for me. He finally came around to me and said that I'm the one. You've been going after him this whole time? What? Madison, have you always been in love with Raymond the whole time we've been friends? That's right. Ever since middle school with him, I've always been watching him, waiting for him to come to me. What? However, for some unknown reason, he never did come to me, instead going for some basic chick like you. Even making sure to let everyone know that he had gotten engaged to you last year. You really were so lucky to get a part-time job working at the same place as him. But it wasn't fair because I had been eyeing him up for years before you ever met him in college. He knew that I was into him, and even now he tells me that he felt my love. And since he's felt that love from me far longer than from you, it's natural for him to come back to me. What? So you've been going after one man, Raymond, ever since middle school? After middle school, I followed him to the same high school, and after high school to the same university. I made sure that I was never out of his sight this whole time. And when the time came that I finally knew I needed to go and ask him out, he fell for some chick at his part-time job. But that wasn't what upset me, because I thought for sure that your guys' relationship wouldn't last long. But here we are, years since then, and you guys became engaged. So that's why I had to take action and steal him from you before it was too late. What's so wrong with having to do that, Sherry? Wait a moment. So back then, when you started to work at the same place with Raymond and I, it wasn't just a coincidence? The day after I started to go out with him, you began to work part-time with us at that place. You already know that wasn't a coincidence. I had to know what kind of woman he had started to go out with, and that's why I began working there. But you didn't even take a second to realize that he was mine and just stood around smiling and talking all happily about your relationship with him. However, even though it hurt me so much to have to see you both being happy, I had to stay on him, and that's why I became your friend. Well, that was all just a sham, Sherry. I had just come from out of town to that local college in town, and while there, I didn't really have any good friends. And even with all the people I ran into every day at school, I just couldn't find anyone to call my friend. Just as I was beginning to feel real loneliness, I had found someone like Raymond and a person to call my friend. Well, me being all friendly to you was only a part of my plan at getting even closer to Raymond. I I knew that by getting you to trust me, I'd be making my chance of getting him a whole lot better. It was all just so I could break you both apart and slide right in. That was your plan this whole time? And that was all just because you happened to be able to get to him before me, even though he's mine. But hey, I was just lucky that you were desperate for a friend, or else I might never have been able to get you to think I was a friend to you. To be honest, you are one stupid woman, and having to be around you a lot was really degrading. And I tried so hard to get Raymond to notice me the whole time I was faking being your friend, but for some reason it took more work to get him than I thought. Heck, I even started to make mistakes at work and blamed them on you to try and get Raymond to leave you, thinking you were useless. You're kidding, right? That whole time working there after you came, I remember our boss yelling at me all the time for things I never did. So that was all because of you then? That whole time you were just trying to get me in trouble and fired while faking being my friend? And as time went on, we all graduated from university and college, and unlike you, Raymond found a proper job. I really thought that would have been the moment he left you since you couldn't find yourself work, but just as I started to get ready, I heard he had become engaged to you. But that didn't last too long, because all I had to do was tell him my true feelings, and he came to me. If I knew it would have been that easy to get him, I should have just told him my feelings a long time ago. You are such a complete jerk. I can't even comprehend what's happened here because of you. I seriously thought this whole time that you were a real friend to me. However, you never thought of me as your actual friend. And not even that, but you've hated me this whole time? Well, you've also been trying to get Raymond away from me? The only jerk here is you, Sherry. You came out of nowhere and took my man away from me without ever considering my feelings. Do you get it now, though? It's over for you. Raymond is all mine now, and there's nothing you can do to get him back. So you stay the hell away from us now and never ruin my relationship again. I've heard about it all from Madison. The one you've been cheating on me with has been her. And she said that you left me for her and plan on getting married to her now too?
I heard about all of this as well from her. She told me that since yesterday, you've been standing around my house watching us? If you really felt that I was cheating on you, you should have just said so to my face. But instead, you became my stalker and made yourself look like a freak.
You have no right saying I'm the freak when you've been the one cheating on me. Are you not going to at least apologize for what you've done?
Why would I apologize for something I don't feel wrong about doing? I have finally been able to find the number one girl in the world for me, and she's been in love with me a lot longer than you have. So what's wrong with me choosing her over you?
Huh?
It's so beautiful thinking that she's been in love with me ever since middle school. And what's even more beautiful is that her dad is actually my department manager. I had no choice but to go for her now that I have work relations at stake.
You're telling me that her dad is your boss?
He has the same last name as her, but I never thought that he'd actually turn out to be her dad. But if I'm able to get married to his daughter, I'm sure that will lead to me getting some major promotion within the company. There was no reason for me to stay with you now when I have a gift like her.
You're throwing me away for her, all because she's your better chance at getting promoted? That's your only reason for throwing away the person you've been together with for years and years now?
You're far too old now to still be working odd jobs like you have been. For a long time now, I've actually been resenting ever going out with you, back when we worked together, because you've turned out to be such an idiot. If it wasn't for me always being here to help you out, you would be nothing more than wasted meat. Heck, even before I finally jumped over to Madison, the only real way you were making any money was by coming over to my place to do my chores for me. Really, you've been more like a housekeeper than a fiancé.
A housekeeper? Is that how you've been thinking about me this whole time? So you never loved me for the woman I am, but Rather just because I'm able to help you get chores done?
Men love women that are able to get cleaning and cooking done. You would even come over to help me do some of the nastiest jobs, all for a little bit of cash from me in return. But even though you did a good job for me, I've stumbled into an even more amazing and useful woman. Not only is she madly in love with me, but her dad would be my best shot at a promotion. She's perfect.
No, she is not.
Ah, that's right. I've made sure, just in case you want to come, to send you an invitation to our wedding. Make sure to take a good look at it and RSVP soon.
Why would you send something like that to me?
Don't make up anything in your head about this. I'm not sending the invitation to you because I want you there. I want you to stop stalking me now, so hopefully seeing me happy with Madison will make you stop trying.
Huh?
I feel that by saying the truth, that should be enough to even teach an idiot like you that I don't love you anymore. Seeing the evidence of me kissing her after putting on her wedding ring should stop any more thoughts about me from entering your head. Man, you should be so thankful that I'm putting this much thought into you still after having thrown you away. I'm a really nice guy, aren't I?
Hey, Sherry, why are you here showing up to our wedding? And are you completely brainless? Why did you show up wearing a wedding dress yourself? The only person that should be wearing a wedding dress today should be the bride, me. But you're not the only one that's a bride today. Because I myself am a bride today. Huh? Did all that shock of losing Raymond to me melt your brain away? I'm the one that's going to be marrying Raymond. And just because you're here in that perfect fitting wedding dress doesn't mean that he'll come back to you. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm not here to try and get Raymond back. Then why are you here wearing a wedding dress? You were thrown away by Raymond months ago, and that makes you the loser. Huh? You think that I'm the loser after all of that? I do. You were the one that got thrown away by your fiancé and had to learn that your friend was never actually your friend. So after having lost the both of us, why are you coming back? You're not going to be able to get him back now because I'm the one that he's chosen to marry. I'm only here in a wedding dress because today is the day of my wedding. Huh? But my wedding starts later today, after yours. And the only reason I'm already in my wedding dress now is because I'm just getting back from a photo shoot this morning. But while we have a break in the photo shoot, I've come inside to go to the restroom. But I forgot where the restroom is, and that's how I stumbled upon this room. And just when I was going to turn around and leave, I saw that this is your guys' wedding. You're going to be having your wedding here later today? What are you going on about? You shouldn't have anyone to marry anymore, right? You lost Raymond to me only a few months ago. So what? Are you just having a wedding by yourself now and are getting photos of yourself taken outside? I understand that Raymond is all yours now. But that doesn't mean that after he left me, I couldn't find someone new to become my husband. And so that new man that I've found is going to be with me for our wedding day. Huh? You found yourself a new man? That's right. I'm getting married to my boss from work. Now, hold on. You're getting married to your own boss? In other words, you're getting married to that old man that was our manager back when we were all working part-time there? I get that after being tossed aside by someone as amazing as Raymond, you try to rebound off of someone else, but... But that's just gross, Sherry. Huh? Well, come on. That old man is in his 70s by now, and you're planning on being married to him? And what's even crazier is that that man was pissed off with you all the time there after what I did to set you up. He really wants to be married to you now? You both must really be that desperate. For him to give up the last bit of his life for someone like you must mean real desperation. You're still young, Sherry. You should rethink being with a gross old man like him and call things off before you tie the knot for good. I'm not getting married to my old manager from that place. I'm getting married to the CEO of the company I currently work for. The CEO of the company you currently work for. And I'm just going to let you know this right now so that you don't continue to stay confused. I am not working as a part-timer anymore. After graduating from college, I worked that part-time job a little bit longer after you guys left before being hired into my current job. And as of right now, I'm working a lot less hours to keep up with all the work I have to get done there. I'm at the point now within my career that the company and my husband trust me with all the projects. Huh? So you're not working a part-time job right now? You're actually a full-time employee now and are working for a decent company? And what's even funnier is that I often go to the company Raymond is working for to help out. But anytime I told him that, he just said for me to keep my dreams to myself. He for some reason believes that I'm freelancing and doing odd jobs. Well, how are you helping with the company he works for as well? And how have you managed to become close to your CEO? There's just no way you could be able to do all of that. You can believe whatever you want to, but this is all true. Now that was enough talking for now. How about we both just wish for both of our weddings to go well today?
Hey, it's all just one big lie, right? That you were going to be marrying the CEO of the company, right? And you do know that the CEO was actually the CEO of a company that's a huge customer of mine, right? So how the hell is he going to be getting married to you now?
If you really are finding it hard to believe me, you are more than welcome to come sit in on our wedding today. My husband has a lot of guests coming today, so there'll be a lot of seating and we don't plan on making it private. So even you can slide on in for a quick second later today to see with your own eyes who I'll be the bride to.
What?
At first I was really upset to have my wedding at the same place as you both. But it seemed that we needed a place that has a lot of room like this building, so there was no other choice for us in town besides here.
Hey, please, Sherry, can you please tell me that all of that is a lie? If I actually have to believe that you're going to be married to one of the company's biggest customers? And one other thing, it's only been 3 months since you and I fell apart. How are you able to get up from that so quickly and find a new man to be married to? There's no way that all of this is anything but a lie.
You are right to think that this was a pretty quick turnaround. But he explained to me that he wanted to get married even sooner than I did. It appears he's been in love with me for a very long time now and already knew I was the one for him. And so he didn't want to take any more chances waiting on me.
You're telling me that your CEO has been into you for a long time?
He apparently has known about me for a very long time now. In the past, he'd hide who he was from me and come around that old place we worked part-time at to see how I was doing and things like that. And so that's how he knows me from all the way back then and about the work I'd done.
Huh?
I don't want to say this considering it'll make me look like I'm tooting my own horn here, but he seems to have been in love with me ever since the first day he laid eyes on me. And ever since that day, it only took a few years for me to end up within his company. But when he was finally able to see me again and introduce himself to me on a more personal level, I was with you, and so he had to give up for a bit. But later on, after he heard about how you cheated on me and we broke up, he was waiting outside the office while I came into work and asked me out on a date.
You're freaking lying, right? The CEO of that company, he's been in love with you this whole time? And not only in love with someone for that long, but with some part-timer he shouldn't even be worried about? Why did this happen to you?
It is pretty wild to think that he's been in love with me ever since I was working part-time there. But now I can finally begin to understand the power love like that has, much like the love Madison has for you. After all, she's been in love with you ever since middle school, right? Luckily, she is way more useful than me, and that's why it was so easy for you to throw me away.
Well, that wasn't...
Well, now that we're both with people who have loved us forever, even before we knew them, let's treat them with the same love and live happy lives together. After all, they gave up a lot of their time staying committed to us. So let's give back to them by showing equal or greater love. Now, I need to get back to having more pictures taken before the wedding. You both have a wonderful wedding today. It's because of you that everything fell apart. I never asked for a marriage like this. Why the hell is this all happening to me now? It's all because of you that my life has been turned upside down. Huh? What's happened to you? You were finally able to get married to Raymond after all those years spent being in love with him with no reward. Shouldn't you be having the best marriage ever right now? How could this be the best marriage ever? Every time that he looks at my face now, he just lets out a big sigh and then walks away. And he tells me this every single night. He tells me that he should have stayed with you, and that way you both could have gotten married and his life would have been so much better. Are you serious? He talks about how amazing you must be for a CEO to be willing to love you. He says things like how you must be more than just a decently useful woman, and that there must be some magic to you. And then he always finishes by saying that even though I'm the daughter of his boss, he never sees any benefits to being married to me. My. He really has been saying some terrible things to you. I have been trying so hard to get all the chores done around the house for him. But even with all my hard work, he compares me to you, saying that you always made better food for him and made things around the house a lot neater. He said he didn't even have to ask you to iron his shirts because you'd have them done the moment he took them off. He even said that even though he had to pay you a little to do all of that, everything turned out a whole lot nicer for him. All he talks about is you and never says anything nice about me. Now that I've heard all of this, he seems to still have feelings for me then. You may have loved him longer than I did, but that really isn't going to keep his mind thinking of you. Well, I've had enough. And that's why today I went back to my parents' house crying to them. He literally threw you away from me. Yet now he's complaining that I'm not good enough like you were. This is all your fault for making his standards so high. I told my parents all of this, but instead of calming me down and telling me it was going to be okay, they started to get angry at me. They told me that I deserve all of this. Well, it seems to me like your parents are two very understanding people. What about them is so understanding? My dad won't even listen to me anymore and is super frustrated with me. He keeps asking me what I've done for Raymond that's better than you. And that me being the daughter of Raymond's boss doesn't automatically make me better in every way. Well, he makes a great point. Because unlike you, I'm in the same position as your dad now, working as a department manager while you're just a housewife. I'm not happy with any of this. I was supposed to end up with someone better than you could end up with, yet now you get to be the wife of a CEO, and it's heart-wrenching. The Raymond I'm with now is not the man I used to love. If I'd known he'd still be thinking about you, I would have never married him. Right. That makes sense. Life would be a lot better for you now if you hadn't married him. So, is there anything right now that has anything to do with me? Please don't tell me you came to me looking for some kind of care from me, right? Because as far as I'm aware, you're the one that stole him from me. I get that someone like Raymond is a pretty terrible man and that you're all upset with him now. But blaming me for something you did to yourself is not going to get you anywhere. And honestly, I don't care right now that you feel so badly. What? Why are you being so cold to me right now? Aren't we supposed to be friends? I was so close to you and everything, so how you're acting right now is so hurtful. What? Now you think that we're friends? Weird, considering a while back you told me you only faked being my friend in order to get Raymond from me. So you aren't crap to me, Madison. Which means after this, don't even bother trying to talk to me again. Huh? It's because of you that this is all happening to me. Yet you won't even listen to me and try to help fix this? Listen, you dog. Your dad had to tell you about who I am now, right? Yet you're still going to sit there crying like a little baby? Well, if that's how you want to play this, let me tell you something. I could go to my husband right now, telling him about how you won't leave me alone, and you know what? He'll make sure that both your dad and Raymond don't have jobs after today. My husband won't go easy on them either, making sure that they understand just how rude it is of them to let their wife and daughter blame me for something I never did. But please stop! If you do something like that to me, my dad will only become more angry. No, he won't just get angry, but he'll kick me out of the house. And then Raymond will only grow more frustrated with me and it will all be over. Then stop all of this BS and leave me the hell alone, okay? You need to stop messing around trying to hide from Raymond and learn that you are his wife now, and you have to deal with the life you asked for. Or maybe, since you had the nerve to break our relationship apart, you can go get a divorce from him and find another man. If you're really going to complain this much, you must have the energy to do something besides be a pain in my neck. A divorce? I can't. We were finally able to get married. Then learn to deal with him complaining about you not meeting his standards or work harder to meet them. You chose this path, so stop with all this BS. You've loved him ever since middle school, so you should have it in you to love him until the end. Right after that last message to Madison, I never heard anything else from her again. And according to the rumors, those two's relationship ended up turning cold to the point that neither of them would ever talk or even look at one another. But of course, one day Madison ended up blowing up on Raymond. She began to yell at Raymond to divorce her if he was going to regret marrying her so much, and that he wasn't the man that she used to love who was cool and loved to talk. And because of that, for the next 3 months, those two continuously fought one another on their marriage. And these days, whenever Raymond gets home from work, he's met with Madison wearing very middle schoolish type of clothes and talking to him as if they were back in middle school. Well, all I can say is that they've both started to go off the deep end, and I really don't know what else there is to say about where their relationship will go next.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow.
Sorry for bothering you while you're at work, Eloise. Would you be able to take some time off here soon? Perhaps in the next couple of weeks?
The next time I'll be able to take time off will be around the end of this month. Why are you asking?
Actually, my little brother Trey will be getting married, and he asked for us to go and meet with his fiancée and everything soon. So I was hoping that you'd have time to go and do that with me.
What? Trey is getting married now? He was only just talking about how he got a girlfriend a couple of months ago, right?
And well, he's getting married to her now. Trey has always become easily attached to things, and so he wanted to propose to her as soon as he found out how much he loves her.
That's really fast for those two, though. Trey really must have been a good man to his fiancée for her to accept him that quickly. I would have at least asked for a couple months of just dating before saying yes to something like that.
And now he's wanting all of us to meet her as soon as possible. But, his fiancée is a little bit nervous about meeting everyone. Apparently, she's wanting to meet with you and I first before meeting my parents.
I can understand being a little bit nervous for all of that when she's only been with Trey for a little over a month or so, right? Maybe that's why she's wanting to see us first. It'll be practice for her later to go and see your parents.
I understand that you're pretty busy this month, but do you think you can at least take a half a day to come out and see her soon? We can even just make a quick lunch out of it, and then you can go right back to work after.
Understood. Let me see what I can do today about my schedule then. I'll talk to my secretary even, and she might be able to move some things around for an afternoon to become open.
Thank you for doing that, Eloise. Good luck with work today, and I'll see you tonight.
Thank you for coming out to see me today. I hear that you've been pretty busy and had to make some special time just to come and be with me. Oh, you don't have to worry about my schedule, Maria. I'd like to say how happy I am that I was able to meet you and Trey today. And congratulations on becoming engaged. I look forward to being your sister-in-law once the two of you get married. Actually, I'd really like to talk about all of that right now. It's about things regarding our relationship after today. Can we just act like we don't really know one another? Really, I'm not looking forward to ever meeting with you again, and would like for you and I to be very distant. What? What do you mean you want for the both of us to be very distant from one another? To put it in other words, I'm not going to be inviting either of you to my wedding, and from here on out, please don't even text or call me. I would like to say the next time you and I should meet one another is at our in-laws' funerals or something like that. What? So, now that I've made my wishes clear, please respect them. Make sure to tell Milo about what I'm asking as well. Wait a second, Maria? Saying things like that about us out of the blue, I'm not sure what you mean. What? Do you really have to understand the deeper meanings here? As long as you respect what I've asked for, then everything will be okay. I'm asking that you and your husband stay away from us now, so please just shut up and do as I've asked. Why are you saying things like that at this point in time, though? Today at our dinner, we all seem to be getting along so well with one another. Did I say something rude to you that I never noticed? Well, right in front of you guys and Trey, I had to make sure to fake being all happy. But really, that whole time, I was feeling really let down by both you and your husband. I never actually expected my older sister and brother-in-law to be so poor. Had I known about that all before, I would have never asked to come out and see you both. You're calling us poor? You do realize that Trey is in his 20s right now and running his own company, right? He came from an Ivy League school and is now making bank, which has made him the ideal person for me. And since he ended up such a wonderful man himself, I assumed that both you and your husband would be just as amazing as him, if not more rich. But then to hear from you today that you're from the countryside and are still poor, do you even understand how much shock I was in after hearing about that? Huh? You told me about this at dinner today. You said that you are from some deep woods countryside community in the middle of nowhere, whereas I'm from New York and was raised there all my life. And when being raised there, both my parents had loads of money and raised me in this massive colonial-era mansion. That means that me being from a very wealthy and high-standing family should not be anywhere near your dirty and moneyless self. In other words, what you're getting at right now is that because I'm from the backwoods, you think that automatically makes me poor? I think it's a bit ridiculous of someone like you to be judging me based off of only my birthplace and where I was raised. That's not all I'm judging you off of, though. You did come from the middle of nowhere, but your husband Milo also happens to be a jobless shut-in. It must be very hard on someone who's already at the bottom of society to have to be married to a man that doesn't bring in any money. You both are on a one-way trip to becoming some of the poorest people in America. Did you not listen to a single thing my husband and I were saying to you today at the dinner? My husband is not unemployed right now, rather a hard-working man getting all the housework done at home. Someone who stays home and does the chores all day is jobless, right? Either way, he isn't making any money and should just be called a parasite of yours. Then wouldn't that make you a parasite to Trey as well? Huh? You were telling the both of us that after getting married, you'd leave your job and become a housewife, right? You won't be making any money, nor will you have a job, meaning that you are jobless as well. So you and Milo are one and the same. Would you please stop making fun of me like that? Unlike your husband, I am not without a job right now. And when I become Trey's wife, I will still have a job. Really? My job will be staying pretty and youthful for my husband in order to support him through all his hard work. I'll have to make sure that all of his meals are properly balanced so that he'll always be feeling great without gaining any more weight. And considering I'll be doing all of that to support him as a company owner, you could call my job being a company owner as well. I happen to have a very good job coming my way, so please don't compare me to that jobless Milo. But what about making money? I'm not so sure you'll be making a paycheck every month just by being a wife. Are you kidding me, Eloise? Trey has promised me that every month he'll be giving me an allowance of $5,000 to spend. In other words, that's going to become my paycheck, my income. Your allowance will be your income? However, for Milo, he's not getting an allowance right now, correct? In other words, he's just living in that house without bringing in a penny. The only thing you can call a man like that is a parasite. Come on now. I'm starting to get really tired of trying to figure out what the hell your manner of thinking is. I don't need you to understand how the high class think, so would you please shut up and do as I've asked? Ever since I was a little girl, I have never wanted to become close to those that are even an inch below me in this society. Also, my family and I are allowed to pick and choose who we want to be around, and you guys aren't a part of them. So therefore, after today, I don't want either of you to have anything to do with myself or Trey, please. Even if you both want to be close to me, you're not socially allowed to do that, so don't even bother trying.
Hey, Eloise? Did I do something wrong at that dinner we went to last week? I'm not able to get any texts from Trey or Maria anymore. So I'm wondering if you know what's happened to them?
What was that?
Last week we went out with those two for dinner, right? After that dinner, I sent the both of them a text saying that dinner was really fun and thanks, but they haven't even read it yet. And when I messaged Maria again, she still didn't reply to me. I've started to think I've done something wrong and that those two might have blocked me now.
The fact that not even your little brother, who is known for being very prompt, has not gotten back to you or even read that message yet, probably means he blocked you.
I knew it. Hey, did I really do or say something wrong that evening? I get that I was really happy for my little bro and drank a bit of alcohol that night, but did I really do something that bad there to warrant them blocking me?
You didn't do anything wrong, actually. It's just Maria blocking you for no good reason. And Trey isn't bothering to do anything about her either.
What? What is going on with them right now?
I've been a bit on the fence wondering if I should tell you or not, but I guess I have to now. After that dinner we had, I got a text from Maria, and her and I both talked for a little bit. She told me about how you and I aren't good enough for her and Trey, so she doesn't want us bothering them anymore. She even told me we're not invited to her wedding as well. But the fact that she'd even get Trey involved and have him block you is wild to me. Unless she went and did that herself and he still hasn't noticed anything. She really is a problem, that girl.
Wait a sec. Why are both you and I hated so much by that Maria chick? We aren't good enough for her is what she said? There has to be something I did to piss her off like that, right?
Calm down, Milo. Neither you nor I have done anything wrong here. It's just that Maria hates us for her own reasons that really don't make any sense. Right now she seems to think that both you and I have no money or something.
Huh? She thinks you and I are actually poor?
Compared to Maria, who grew up in New York at an old mansion, I was just raised on the middle of nowhere, right? And with your brother running his own company right now to the best of his abilities, she sees you as doing absolutely nothing because you're home all the time. That means to her, I'm just a moneyless hick from the backwoods, and you're just a parasitic shut-in, and that means you and I don't make any money.
You're telling me that that's her only reason for why she views you and I as poor?
Apparently, since Trey is a CEO right now, she assumed you, being his older brother and me being your wife, we'd have even more to offer than him. So perhaps right now she's in shock because she feels like she's been backstabbed by her own misunderstood expectations.
Wait. That is all just way too crazy to me, though. How can she just decide something like that about us when she barely even knows you and I? She's already gone and blocked me and won't even invite us to her wedding now. I'm sorry, Eloise. Because I'm not working a job right now, she's probably thinking the both of us are lowlives.
You do not have to apologize for something like that. I don't mind you not having a job right now, and you happened to do your best at your last job, which was enough for me to be satisfied with you. You need this time off from working in order to rest your head, all right?
But surely if I was working right now, none of this would be happening to you and I. I'm going to try and get my parents to reach out to Trey for me right now. And then hopefully he'll become aware of what's going on with his fiancée right now.
No, you shouldn't do something like that to them right now. I think it's better we just let things be for right now.
But if we leave things the way they are currently, I'm going to lose my mind.
I understand that, but you saw how those two were acting with one another when we went to dinner, right? Your brother was falling head over heels for Maria and wouldn't stop talking about her. They're already planning on getting married, so we shouldn't do anything that would hurt those two's relationship.
If that's what you want to do, then I'll lay off for a bit. But if Maria starts saying things about us again like that, Please let me know so I can tell my parents. I don't care that this is my brother's relationship. Having his fiancée treat us like that will literally make me explode.
All right, I'll let you know if anything else happens. Now, I'm gonna head back to work. I'll be waiting for you to cook me up some more really delicious food tonight. Hey, Maria! What the hell are you trying to do? What were you thinking pouring water all over me like that? And the fact that you just did that in front of everyone with that bucket was insane. I'm the one that wants to ask you that same thing. What the hell are you trying to do? I didn't even invite you to my wedding today. Yet you still came all the way out here and introduced yourself to everyone here. You both are frickin' moneyless lowlifes, so don't you dare come to my wedding of all places. I understand that you didn't invite either one of us here, but Trey contacted us about the wedding. He said that we didn't RSVP or anything to the invitation, but we were still coming, right? Maria, you never sent us the invitation you had ready for us and just threw it away, didn't you? And so what? You should have been able to tell that I didn't want you here and should have just said no to him. Yet you came all the way here like you had nothing to worry about and then introduced yourself to all my guests. Why, at my gorgeous and expensive wedding, is there this moneyless, shut-in supporting lowlife introducing herself to all my guests? Huh? I made sure to prepare this wedding the very best I could, which was to a standard of perfection. And I wanted to show off to everyone today that I'm getting married to a CEO. This wedding has to show everyone that I'm the winner and they should all suck up to me. There is no reason for someone like you to be here talking to everyone that's here for me. But even so, that's not a good enough reason to just come pour a bucket of water all over me like that. Are you an idiot or something? Everyone just saw you do that to me and are as surprised as I am. What's the problem with someone of my class pouring water on someone who's below me? Nobody was shocked to see something like that, and I'm sure they'd all do the same thing if they were in my shoes. I'm sure they were all happy to see that happen to you. That happened to you because a poor person should never come into a high-class wedding and start talking to all the guests. Huh? I really hope you've started to understand what position you're in here. And not just at this wedding, I mean, but in this society. I am getting married to Trey, a CEO. This should have shown you that I have no plans of becoming close friends with any of your kind. Don't think that you can become family to me when you're nothing more than beggars. I will never, ever have anything to do with two lowlifes like you and your husband. Then I'm not working with your husband anymore. The contract is being dismissed and relations are over with. What? I really have reached my limits with you today, Maria. I was trying so hard not to make such a big deal out of this for your guys' sake. But having to get drenched in water by you today was the last straw. If you're going to continue to act like that towards me, then let me help you end all the relations you guys and I had. To start, I'm having that contract terminated today. And I will never ever work with your husband and his company again. What is all of this about right now? What kind of contract are you talking about? You don't have anything to do with my husband and his company's work. Oh, but I have everything to do with it, actually. Your loving husband and I both have a lot to do with one another. Huh? Right now, Trey's company's been doing really well in terms of sales and all that, right? But who might be to thank for all of that growth and has a very good understanding of it all? I'm so sorry. Had you known who I'm talking about, you would have never done something as idiotic as pouring all that water on me. What? As for who I'm talking about, it's me. I happen to work as a customer of Trey's company. Actually, Trey's company happens to be a subcontractor to my company. I happen to have a lot of jobs that I give his company so that he's able to make money through us by handing my company labor. About half of those sales that Trey's been making in terms of selling labor come from my company. Huh? What did you say? That's why today I did not come as his sister-in-law, but rather as his most important customer. Yet if something like this were going to happen to me today, I would have never come. Wait a minute, you're his biggest customer? What? What? You're not just a customer of his, but the biggest one his company has? Just because I'm from the countryside doesn't mean I can't run a company as well. Now that you're aware of things, I'll be going.
Eloise, Have you taken all your clothes off and gotten into the tub yet? Did you make sure to get all warmed up and everything? I'm at the store right now getting everything I need to make you chicken noodle soup, alright? Once I'm home, I'll make a big thing of it so that you can warm up and try to fight off any chance of catching a cold.
Thank you for all of this, Milo, but I was just drenched in a little bit of water, so I'll be fine.
You are not fine, though. None of this is fine. You have a very important meeting next week, and if you catch a cold because of Maria, what are we going to do? We have to make sure you take care of yourself now before it's too late.
You're looking more like my secretary right now than my husband.
I'm not your secretary, I'm like your teacher. Look, you have to understand that back in the day, I was a CEO myself and know what to do here. You have to make sure you take care of yourself before important meetings like that, so that your company can stay strong and not collapse along with you.
Then I guess I'll keep quiet and do as you say, teacher.
Jeez, I can't believe that chick would pour water all over you like that at her own wedding. That's not even something to call a mistake anymore. What she did was pure assault. I'm not going to let her get away with that.
Hey, you can chill there, Milo. I have no plans of forgiving her myself, and today I just plan to rest before I get to the business side of taking out the trash. And you can just focus on making me that soup and keeping those nasty colds away from me, please.
All right. I've just picked up all the ingredients and will be coming home now. Once you finish with your bath, make sure to get yourself in bed and wait for me, okay?
Please, Eloise, please don't tell me you're really going to stop doing business with Trey's company. Actually, can you come back to the wedding right now? If both you and Milo don't come back here right now, then this wedding is going to be canceled. Wait, it hasn't even been canceled yet? Why would it be canceled already? I just had to explain to everyone what happened just then in order to get them all to wait a bit longer. Everyone said that as long as you come back soon, then they will all stay for the wedding. Then can you tell them all the wedding is over with and that they can all go home now? What? Right now I've just sat down to eat some of my husband's famous chicken noodle soup. He's trying to keep me from catching a cold right now because of you. So he added extra spices to this bowl. I apologize for throwing that bucket of water all over you. So please, would you come here right now? I never knew that you were also a CEO, Eloise. And to hear that you're actually Trey's biggest customer as well, I never knew that. I'm sorry, Maria. It's too late for apologies now. No way, Eloise. Then could you at least hand your phone over to Milo and let me speak to him? Let me speak to him right now. You want to talk to Milo? I heard this from my dad of all people, but is it really true? I know that right now he stays home to do the housework and such, but he was working as a CEO of Townsend Holdings? Oh, your dad must know a lot about the business world. We never told your parents anything about where Milo used to work and who he was there. My dad is working for that company right now. What? And he knows a lot about your husband and what he did at the company. Milo had worked so hard at the company that within 2 years of first being hired, he made it to becoming the new CEO. And then after a few years of working in that position and taking the company to multiple record-breaking goals, he left because he received all the money he needed. Well, he was just really wanting to retire at a young age was all. And that's why he even put in so much work that even the previous CEO recognized him and said he was next in line. Milo's dream was to work his butt off every day and night to take that company to places it had never been before, so that he could get as many company bonuses as possible and then retire soon after. And he ended up achieving that dream of his in record time. Neither him nor I have ever thought that he'd actually be able to do all of that so quickly. What? And now that he's retired now, he just relaxes at home getting all the housework done for me while enjoying his hobbies. And even at home, he's still making money through the many shares he got from that company before handing it off to another man. What? Sorry about this, Maria. I just asked Milo if he'd want to talk with you, and he said no. What? He happens to know about your father as well, by the way. His response to me asking about him was that you're the daughter of that useless manager who never got anything done for the company. So Milo totally understands where you got that toxic attitude from now. Useless manager? Now then, make sure you cancel that wedding of yours. And just as was expected, the wedding was canceled, and immediately following it, Maria and Trey started to talk about how there would be no more marriage. After what happened this time, even Trey, who was so madly in love with Maria, had his eyes open to the real kind of monster she is. He told her about how much this was going to ruin his company and about how his relation to his brother and myself had been soured because of her. After that, he said to her everything was off and that he would never, ever talk to her again. Thinking that she'd never hear something like that from Trey, Maria came to Milo and I screaming and crying about how sorry she was for everything. But as she sat outside our doors screaming about how sorry she was, we both looked at one another before locking the door and putting on a movie with the volume at max so that we didn't have to hear her. Trey later went ahead and started to put more attention into his company again after seeing me end that contract in front of his eyes. But after a few months go by, I might go back and see how he's doing and see if he really does need me to come back and work with him again. As for Maria, only a few weeks after giving up on apologizing to us, she was kicked out of her parents' house as her dad had had enough of her. Apparently Milo put in a bad word to the CEO of the company he used to run, saying that Maria's dad couldn't be trusted and should just be fired. So due to that, he is currently under even more investigation and soon might end up losing the job he never really took seriously to begin with. The last thing anyone has heard about Maria came from Trey after he received a note from her asking for him to take her back. But Trey knew better than to read that note, and so after giving it a skim, he tossed it in the garbage can with Maria watching him do so from a bush in his yard. After that, she was never heard from again and has most likely left New York for good and gone somewhere lowlifes like her can live. Like perhaps the backwoods or something.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.